Right now, we have a lot of people that are making $50,000 a year that are living a $55,000 a year lifestyle. That means you make this money from your job, your business, does not matter. Then you spend money on your car payment because you want a nice car. Then you got your housing costs, maybe it's your rent, maybe it's mortgage because you want a nice place to live. Then you got to pay for your credit card bills because a lot of people carry a little bit of credit card balance. And then you got your other expenses, your fun, your entertainment, your clothes, and just travel. When you add all that up, what you'll see is that a lot of people are living this $55,000 a year lifestyle, making $50,000 a year. And then everybody says, man, if I could just make an extra $10,000 a year, all my financial problems will be solved. And then maybe you go and earn it. You go and get a raise, you go to get a job change, and now you go from making $50,000 a year to $60,000 a year. But then suddenly what happens is your expenses grow from this $55,000 a year, which by the way is because you have debt. That's how you can spend more than what you earn, and most Americans are in debt. But now you go out and you make an extra $10,000 a year and you think that now you're going to have more money to save, more money to invest, and some extra financial cushion. But then all of a sudden, your expenses grow from $55,000 a year to $65,000 a year. Why? Because now that you're making an extra $10,000 a year, maybe you don't change where you live. Maybe you don't change your car just yet. But maybe you go out and buy a few more things. Maybe you go out and start buying the organic foods. Maybe you go on another vacation. Maybe you go and spend money in a couple other places, and now all of a sudden, that $10,000 that you're making more of is now gone. But then maybe you go back to school, you get a new certificate, you get a whole new career, and then maybe you work to increase your income even more. Now you go from $60,000 a year to $90,000 a year, and now you think that your financial problems are all going to be solved because, well, now you're making a whole lot more money. You were spending $65,000 a year. Now that you have more money, you should be able to have a lot more freedom, save more money, invest more money, build real wealth. But then what ends up happening to a lot of people in this situation is you start making $90,000 a year, and now that you make more money, banks look at you and they say, you are a more qualified borrower. How about we give you a better mortgage? How about we give you more money for a car? We might even be able to give you a better interest rate if you have a little bit of extra money to put down. So now what ends up happening to a lot of people in this situation is this is now when you go and you get a better car. You go from driving maybe a Toyota to a Benz. Maybe you go out and get yourself a nicer house. You go out and buy a house a little bit bigger. Maybe you rent a nicer townhouse. You put a little bit of extra money in your credit card, and now you go from making $90,000 a year to spending $100,000 a year. This is why most young people that are making six figures a year are broke with no savings, no investments. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it holds so many people back from ever building wealth because as soon as you start making more money, you start spending more money, and you never have the ability to ever build wealth because you assume that as you make more money, you'd be able to save and invest more money. But if you can't find a way to do it today, there's no guarantee you'll find a way to do it as you make more money. Money trap number 2 is you're waiting for the X factor to start investing. This X factor is whatever reason or excuse you're telling yourself as to why you don't want to start investing right now. Maybe this means you want to start making more money before you start investing. You want to see a pay raise before you start investing. You want to have some other financial things done before you start investing. Maybe it means you're waiting for a better price to start investing. You're waiting for the stock market to crash. You're waiting for a housing market crash. You're waiting for a time where you can come in and buy even more. Now, market crashes create amazing buying opportunities, but if you're always waiting, you're going to be sitting on the sidelines and missing a whole lot of gains. And this is where it can be valuable to take advantage of a market crash with extra money that you have, but just waiting for a market crash means that you might be missing out on a whole lot of gains. Number 3, waiting for a change in the economy, waiting for better interest rates, waiting for the government to change something before you start investing. Well, you could be waiting on the sidelines for a long time because nobody knows what's going to happen. Or you could be waiting for more experience. I don't know how to invest. I don't know how to start. Well, sitting on the sidelines is not going to help you. But you can get started. Start with $10, $100, $1,000, whatever's easy enough for you to start with. The key is to get started. The reason why so many people don't actually make the wealth that they want isn't because they picked the wrong investment or because they picked the wrong stock. It's because they never start. You are going to make mistakes. Investing has risks. In fact, you will lose money at some point, which is why you want to always do your own due diligence and never blindly trust a random guy on YouTube. But Unless you start, you're never going to actually learn. And the reality is, if you want to be able to take advantage of the big run-ups, you have to invest your money. Franklin Templeton did a study on this, and what they found is that if you invested your money into the stock market in the year 2000 and you kept your money there for 20 years, so until the end of 2019, your money would have more than tripled. But if you were trying to time the market and you missed the 10 best days over the course of those 20 years, just 10 days you missed, you would have cut your returns in half just because you were trying to time the market. That's why it's so difficult to try to time the market. Now, if you see a market crash, that could create a great buying opportunity, but if you're always waiting for a market crash, you can also miss out on all those gains. Now, if you are an investor and you want to stay up to date on what's happening in the financial markets, my team at Briefs Media publishes a free daily newsletter called Market Briefs, where we cover what's happening in things like the economy, stock market, housing market, crypto market, and global economy into a fun, witty, and easy to read newsletter. You can read it in less than 5 minutes every morning, and it's completely free. So if you want to join hundreds of thousands of investors that are reading market briefs every morning, I got the link for you to join down in the description below. Money trap number 3 is you're financing a new car when you should be buying one with cash. Financing a car gives you a triple whammy. Number 1, you are buying a depreciating liability. That means you're buying something that loses value. When you go out and you buy the BMW, you buy that whatever car you want, it starts to drop in value as soon as you put your keys in the ignition. But then number 2, you're paying interest to buy this thing that's also losing value. So now you buy this thing that you know is going to drop in value, but you also have to pay the bank interest every single month. And then number 3, it has a limited life. It's not like after 5 years, this car is going to be able to have better performance. That car loses its value and it has a lower and lower lifespan every single time you drive it. At the time of me recording this video, the average new car payment in America is $737 a month, and the average used car payment in America is now $520 a month. Again, you're paying interest on something that's losing value. Now, here's the thing. When you go out and do this, you're also going to put down a down payment on the car. If you're putting 20% down, this used car payment means you probably put down around $7,000 to buy this $35,000 car that's going to cost you $520 a month. What I would like for you to do, especially if you haven't built your wealth yet, is instead of making your banker richer, instead of making the car company richer, use this money to make yourself richer. Take the $7,000 down payment and use that money to buy a car. Now sure, maybe you don't get as nice of a car, but you can get yourself a nice 2012 Toyota Camry with the $7,000 down payment. Look, I'm talking to you from experience here. I just a few months ago in the end of 2024 got rid of my 2007, 2008 Toyota Solara. I had a lot of miles on the car. I had 3 different types of rims on the car. I had rust on the car. I drove that car into the ground, but I got my money's worth out of that car. Yeah, it's not as nice as what you can get over here, but guess what? You get to save this money or invest this money every single month, and this is what can make you wealthy. I'll show you what I mean. If now I learned about this early, I learned about this in my 20s, and I don't go out and finance this car, I buy a car with cash for $7,000, and then I take this $520 a month and I invest it into the markets every single month. And I don't do anything crazy with it. I just get the average historical stock market return, which is average around 10% a year. And I do this for 40 years because, again, I started young. If I do that, I just take this car payment and invest into the markets and I get this 10% return, this $520 a month is not going to grow to $500,000. It's not going to grow to $1 million. It's not going to grow to $2 million. It's going to grow to more than $3 million. But instead, what you want to do is you want to go out and you want to finance a BMW today. You want to go out and finance a Hyundai Genesis today. You want to do that today so you can look like you're rich, when in reality, if you really want to build wealth, you're going to drive that beater car for a little while. That way you can take this money and keep investing it and then buy a car that you can afford with cash. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.